Before I begin, I think one thing which I find very nice this time is that a lot of people from outside of our corporate office are here. And I'm also happy to see a lot more women joining us. So I think that's a big achievement. Beginning of this year, we had actually set a target for 30% of our staff to be ladies. And I find that a lot of people at the site also, so it's not just corporate office. I think we are reaching there. We are at about 20-22%. So that's a very big thing. So big round of applause for this. It gives me great pleasure to stand here today on our 39th annual day. Almost close to 4 decades of shared effort, learning, challenges, mishaps, as well as triumphs. But annual days to me are more than just celebrations or ceremonies. They are like a scheduled halt at a major junction, since all of us are from the railways. So as a major junction, where it is time to stretch legs for the passengers, but refill the pantry cars for the train staff, check the engines for the loco staff, and make sure that we are on the right track before picking up speed again. So that's what annual days are all about. Some of you from various sites have come here and also here would actually be awarded during the course of the day. So my congratulations to all of them, because these are the people who drive the engine of Barcel by completing projects on time, by delivering good work around, being committed to the organization. So very, very heartfelt congratulations to all the awardees who will be getting their awards today. Beyond the awards, the true spirit of today lies in what we give to our work and to one another. I want to share a few reflections around 3 major themes which I have in mind, which will be vital for our future growth as we move forward. The 3 basic points which I want to talk about are commitment, leadership, and teamwork. Because these 3 pillars or these 3 ends of the triangle are what are I would say need to be consistently adhered to, need to be worked on, and is a continuous requirement for any growing organization. By commitment, I don't just mean commitment to work, because most of the time people get confused by commitment to work being the commitment. No, what I mean is commitment to the organization, because that is where the growth happens, and that makes the entire individual run. So the commitment to the organization is much more important than this commitment to work. Now, commitment means not just completing your work, but also ensuring that the projects don't derail. Apart from that, that always remembering that final destination for all of us, or what we see in our tickets, again to use the railway language, destination should all be organizational success and not just individual success. That is commitment. Commitment is also when you look at or say, is this my work, or do you say, where else can I lend a hand? That is the difference between commitment. Because if you're looking at only, is it my work, then it is an individual commitment and not an organizational commitment. But if you say that, yes, where can I add value or where can I lend a hand, that is what organizational commitment is about. And that is what I mean by actually commitment when you say it. And this is where actually commitment is where the culture comes in, culture of our organization. A strong culture is like the ballast if we look at in our track. The stronger the foundation, the stronger the ballast, smoother your ride, or faster your ride. So the culture of an organization, which is start from commitment, is equally important. The strong culture is what makes our ride smooth for an organization. The culture is visible in the way we interact with clients, how we treat our colleagues, how we close issues, amicably within colleagues or stakeholders, and how we always keep promise of an ethical contact. That is a very important part of culture. We've come this far based on these principles, especially the ethical part of it. 40 years now, it's not just surviving but growing. So I think that all of us need to keep in mind is a very, very big cornerstone for our commitment. Culture again is not just a slogan on posters and things like that, but it is commitment in action. So that's why commitment to the organization is very important. But commitment alone, I think, can't take our train to the next station. We need leadership at every level to achieve that objective. We need leaders who are not just drivers of the train, but it is also the guard, the signaling man, the track man, the station master, everybody who lends a hand in making the train journey smooth and forward. So everybody is a leader. True leadership is not about personal excellence. It's more about creating other leaders. That is where true leadership comes out. Some of our leaders have been doing great work individually, but they have not been good enough in developing other leaders. This eventually either overloads them, limits their own growth, and also slows down the organizational growth. So that is where it is important that individual leaders need to create more leaders to actually show their leadership skills. So that's when the train as a whole will run forward. Otherwise, it will be individual coaches going in different directions. So strong leaders normally multiply themselves. They don't run the train alone. They build the next crew to keep the train moving at full speed. That is what we need to look for. We can't have just 2 or 3 stars in the organization. We need many more stars. Like how we have a starlit sky, you need stars all over. And that's what will make the organization grow and go forward. Great leaders normally are also great teachers. And that's how their leadership skills comes in. Again, to use railway terms, it is something like sharing a route map of the route which you are planning to take. But if you keep it to yourself, you may get to the destination, but the rest of the train will not. So that is what leadership is all about. Knowledge sharing is leadership is what it's all about. The more you share, the better your train journey, because all the coaches have to be there together with you. You can't just have the loco reaching the destination. You need all the coaches with you. So this is where I come to another point where we normally tend to take learning in a very casual way. Now, learning initiatives which your colleagues from HR and all have always been creating are something which I think all of us need to take much more seriously than what we are taking today. Unfortunately, we tend to look at it a very casual thing, but we don't need to look at them as halts or optional stops. They are important stations in our journey. Just to give an example, some of our tech talks and some of these online programs which we have, it is something like what we call as a ghost train. The train is announced, the journey is planned, but then no passengers in the train. So that is something which we need to consciously look at. These are not, I would say, not detours from your work, but these are refueling stops. These are meant to refuel your brain. Skipping them will not stop the train immediately, but in the long run it will harm. So that is something we can't have weak components in our train. We need to have stronger components, and this is what will help you make it stronger. So let's all decide to attend, contribute, and engage. Each of these sessions are actually meant to sort of improve the signaling in your brains. So that is what is important. Actually, this morning I came across a very nice quote by Billie Jean King, who was one of the most prominent tennis players. She said, "Learning to learn is the most difficult thing." We normally don't. We think learning ends in school, but no, learning to learn, because somebody asked her that how did you achieve this success? How did you grow sustain yourself for so long? She said, "I never stopped learning to learn." And that is something which we need to be conscious about. And that is where these learning initiatives and things like that help us do that. Finally, like I said, the third point is teamwork. This is what keeps the whole train moving in harmony. And just imagine if each coach decides to go in different directions. Would we reach our destination as a single train? We wouldn't have a train at all. It will be only chaos. So teamwork doesn't mean that everybody is doing the same job. No. Each of them doing their designated job at the right time, but looking at the same direction. That is what is teamwork about. So that's something which again we need to be conscious about, that once we have a destination decided, all of us need to focus on that destination and achieve whatever requires to be done to reach that destination. When we focus on we instead of me, teamwork happens. So that is another thing which we need to be conscious about. The journey becomes smoother, the train picks up speed, and the scenery looks much better. So that's where everybody starts enjoying work. If you're always looking at me, then you are not enjoying all these things. So We will always give you better satisfaction, better enjoyment when you do work. This spirit of teamwork is also crucial when we chase upcoming opportunities both in India and abroad. You know that we are chasing much larger opportunities. Now, none of those can be successful or none of those can be won if you don't work as a team. It's not individual effort of only the business development team or only the operations team. It is the collective effort of all the organizations. So our BD or the operations team need every other function, be it HR, be it finance, be it admin, engineering, to all come together. Only then we can achieve our big target which we've kept for this year. And going forward, we'll have to make it bigger. So unless we work as a team and not compartmentalize ourselves, don't think of ourselves from me, change to we will not be able to achieve any of this. So as we celebrate today, remember that the trophies or the awards which we get, or it's like a flag waved at the station. It is only signal to move the train forward at faster speed. This is not the end of the journey. Those awards are more to make sure that you move faster, you go to the next halt and continue to faster journeys from there. The real satisfaction actually comes from the journey and not from just these stops. The commitment, leadership, shared knowledge, teamwork is what will keep our train moving smoothly and at a faster pace. So as we look forward to the next 6 months of this year, which is now from the financial year, or we look forward to our next anniversary, I would say. I would like all of you to think about these 3 or 4 pledges, I would say, which each of us should take. First one is keep our track gauge wide enough for big ideas, but at the same time alignment straight towards our goal. Which is, I think, easy for all of us to remember because these are not management words, these are railway engineering words. So that's why I've tried to convert management words into railway engineering. To help develop at least one new driver or guard or a signalman, so leaders who can take the train forward. To share our route maps with everyone so nobody gets delayed. Everybody reaches the destination on time. And to work together because only when every coach is coupled will the complete train move forward and reach its destination. So these 4 is what I would like all of you to remember for this year going forward. Because in my opinion, Barcel is not an ordinary train. Having run for 35 or 40 years close now. It's a super fast express according to me. Or today's terms, it's a Vande Bharat. And every one of us is part of that. So when we commit to this journey of taking it forward, we build more leaders, share our knowledge and pull together as one. I don't think any destination is impossible for us to achieve. Today, Vande Bharat has reached Kashmir. I think we can do much beyond that. So there is no destination which we cannot achieve. So let us fire up our engines, sound the horn, and make the run to our 40th annual day, which is the next one. The fastest, smoothest, and most successful in our history. Thank you.